back, boys and girls, to another episode of Kayfabe Comparisons. My name is Mr. Knowitall, Daniel John Schafer, and I am joined here once again by the rest of the Kayfabe crew. Introducing first, he is the king of the Kayfabe kickflip, Mr. Wex breaking the Lawson. Wex, how we living today, bud?
Hey, we're living great, just chilling out, watching wrestling a little bit more casually, doing our own thing out here, having fun.
Casually. I like it.
Chilling.
I like it.
Chilling.
And returning from his hiatus, formerly known as the patron saint of the Rock Block, currently the wayward son of Wartrace, Mr. Jesse Baker. Jesse, how you living, bud?
Doing all right. Just chilling. Still kind of taking in the countryside out here. Is this the first time the three of us have been together in, 3 weeks now?
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. This is that's right, because I missed 2 weeks ago. And then
I think I missed the week before and last week.
Yeah. So here we are. We're all back together. The old Kayfabe crew, all in one
Holy
spot.
Trinity.
My holy Trinity.
Or unholy Trinity.
I really wish that whole thing had lasted longer. It feels like it was just like a brief thing, but if you guys don't remember it, it was an amazing Nia Jax moment, and there are very few of those in wrestling. So, it was good stuff.
Oh, yeah, my hoe.
All right.
And, today is going to be good stuff because we are doing the top 5 most awesomest, craziest bumps of all time. And so it's going to be all over the place. Last week we got a little negative. This week we're getting positive. We're going to make it nice and fun. I'm excited about it. There's a lot of meat on the bone here. This could be from any promotion ever of all time. So the bumps are endless, but just crazy, amazing moments. A lot of times we talk about storylines and angles and promos, but these are the big in-ring moments with these wacky-ass bumps. I'm super excited about it. Jesse, since we've kind of been playing hokey pokey, you've been getting any feedback on the shows that you missed, on the show that we had with the amazing Miss Jessica Rosenberg. What's your feedback there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Jessica is somebody that I would like to bring on as often as we can. Her perspective is more than welcome and always very amazing. It's always different. You talk about somebody who does their research very clearly. It's awesome too. Having the Gotch Bros on, always a fucking cool thing. And I confidentially breaking kayfabe a little bit here, got a message from Jacob after the fact, and he's like, "Man, you guys had us on at the beginning. You had us on in the middle, kind of where they are right now." He's like, "And after we fucking rock GCW, which was the goal that we established on the last podcast, have us on again." And it's fuck yeah, which we know they're going to do. I mean, that's a foregone conclusion at this point. Yeah. And when they were teasing their Black Label Pro thing that wasn't announced quite yet, it is not a dark match. They're on the fucking show. So
that's awesome.
Sick, dude.
I'm so excited about it. I love that tag team. I think they're amazing. Also, too, the closer we get to the end of the show, we're going to have a super show. It's probably going to be about 2 hours long. The KG Cast Slush has already signed up to be involved. Every person, I would love to get a super show going. I'd love to get Alex Kane on, the Gotches, Jessica Rosenberg, KG Cast. We'll just talk about I haven't figured it out yet. I got a couple of things going on in the noodle for the last ever Kayfabe comparison show, but it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about it. But today's show, Wex, how you feeling about today's show? It's crazy as bumps, man.
I'm pretty hyped about this one. It's going to be good. There's like you said, it's so broad. I try to keep mine more to stuff that's been on TV to stay away from obscure random indie deathmatch shit. So yeah. I tried to keep it to stuff that came on national television and or pay-per-view.
I was very similar, but there's maybe one exception on there. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really pumped about today's show. I'm pumped about the rest of season 5. But let's get to the main segment, what's going on in the world of wrestling, man. Wex, our anchor man and
start
take us
off. Okay, we'll get to it. We'll go to the WWE shit. And, we had Halloween Havoc, over the weekend. It was, whatever. We'll get into that a little bit more detail later because we have a little special segment that we're going to debut later. That's going to specifically be about Halloween Havoc and all the people and kind of what happened. But, NXT this week we did get the debut of The Rock's daughter, the first ever fourth-generation superstar in the WWE.
We did indeed.
Not in wrestling, but just in the WWE. So, congratulations. All she did was, appear. She didn't really wrestle. So, That's to be seen. So, guys, what do you think about that? Do you think she's she's ready in ring, or do you have no clue, just like me?
I can't imagine that she is, to be honest with you. There's just no way. Also, too, because of her age, like, I didn't realize that she's never really seen her dad wrestle. Like, she was a very small. I mean, outside. I shouldn't say that. Outside of the Cena Rock, like, she's never seen her dad as just a wrestler. He's pretty much been a movie star her whole life. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't around for the Flex Cabana days. She wasn't around Flex Cavana. Sorry, she wasn't around for those days. She wasn't around for, the Rocky Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't really. So I can't imagine that she's amazing right off the bat. I just maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope she's the best thing I've ever seen. I really do.
I feel like this has been in the hopper for a minute, and they've been talking about her training and talking about her being around people and working with people for this for a few years now, to be honest. And I feel like there was a point where she was doing it and then, like, didn't do it for a second.
Yes. Yeah.
And then came back in.
Yeah.
So, I don't know exactly how that would affect things, but I would say if anybody does get that, like, trainable treatment, and if she has the same athletics as her bloodline, then I kind of wonder if, I think it might work. I like the idea of them introducing her into a faction in the first place. I do like the idea of her not using her given name. I like all of these things because I think it protects her from having to be – I mean, it's kind of the same route that Dwayne went, really. I mean –
yeah.
And
no, I completely agree.
There'll probably be a half a dozen missteps, and if something hits, it'll be after that half a dozen.
Yeah. So we'll and I mean, I totally agree with bringing her into a faction because I think that it makes perfect sense for her to be the female in Bloodline eventually. And I feel like Bloodline's going to be like the New Day. Like, people think that this is going to, like, oh, they're just working this to the end. And yeah, I mean, Sammy's not going to be around, but like the Bloodline, this whole thing, it's going to be here for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, until there's no more Roman Reigns on television, I think the Bloodline is here forever. I don't think they ever break up. Ever.
I think if The Rock ever wrestles another match, that it's going to be the dominance of the Bloodline. Yes. Whether he does or not, I'm not sure if he does. I'm not saying that he does, but if he does, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think that if they get their way and Mania happens with Reigns and Rock, it's very much a, who is the tribal chief? That's the question. Don't think that's going to happen.
They're not going to – he's going to have the belt, so obviously The Rock is not going to win because they're not going to give The Rock the belt. Or do you think they would?
Oh, no, The Rock's not going to win.
I think if they do get Rock would do a Cena thing. I think he would commit to 2, if not 3 WrestleManias. And I think that if he did – I don't know. I don't know. He's getting to a point now where – he's getting past the movie star status into like just a mega star to where it's like he doesn't have to take every movie anymore. Whereas even 2 or 3 years ago, he's still like having to make movies on a regular basis to keep that, being that number one guy. And now he's got XFL and all these other things. It's like, Terramana, like I could easily see him being like, no, I'm just going to do 2 or 3 movies a year and work a part-time schedule.
Honestly, yes. If this Black Adam shit hits right, he'll just only do Black Adam movies and wrestle. Like he could,
or like Black Adam and whoever he is in Fast and Furious. What is it, Hobbs or whatever?
Do a couple of those movies.
What do you mean if it hits right? He had like the biggest opening weekend of his entire cinematic career.
Yeah, and it's the best rated DC movie since the Dark Knight, I think.
And James Gunn,
that actually makes me want to go watch it now because I was kind of skeptical, but now that I didn't really know that, so that sounds pretty cool.
I mean, James Gunn is about to take over the entire DCEU. James Gunn and another guy are going to be the combined Kevin Feige of the DC movie universe. They just
good. I'd love to see some good DC movies because the ones that Gunn has done and some of the other shit has been pretty good.
Oh yeah.
The only good ones.
Yeah, those are the only good ones. Yeah.
I mean, the Zack Snyder cut was pretty good. It was just long.
It was great. I thought it was great.
It was just fucking long. It took me two periods to watch it.
Man, pro wrestling and superheroes. Somehow we find a way.
See, if you guys like this shit, you're gonna like our next podcast. Just be ready.
No shit. All right, what else we got on the docket?
I mean, so AEW Dynamite last night. The in-ring was great. I mean, literally every match. The opening match, the tag team match, fantastic. Sammy Guevara versus Bryan Danielson, great. The random ass Pentagon Jr. getting to face Moxley for the world title. Dude, their styles just contrast so well. And I love Pentagon. He's like, ever since Lucha Underground, been like one of my favorite wrestlers. And I know he wasn't going to win, but just like, I popped for maybe a near fall or two there. It was still a good match. And the whole MJF thing, I mean, fucking great. Like that's what's going on in AEW right now is MJF.
That's the company right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he literally, at this point, that dude is carrying the company.
So, I want to pose this question to you guys based on the MJF thing. Obviously, his promos carry every week. We're always waiting on the turn and what he says and all that fun stuff.
Sure.
You know, obviously, they went ahead and ended it on, I wouldn't call it a turn, but, you know.
It's not a turn. It's another swerve, by the way.
I totally think it's a swerve, and the firm is still in his pocket. He paid them to beat him up.
That's what I'm saying, too.
That's what I'm thinking.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about that shit, and I fucking hope that's the case, because here's the thing. Jericho jumped the shark on a fucking press scrum by saying, MJF's a babyface. He's got to be a babyface. He's going to be a babyface. And I'm like, dude, you have discredited all of the work that he does as a heel from here on out by saying that shit on a public forum because it's you.
Yeah.
And it like that upsets me because at that point in time, it suspends disbelief on the part of a whole lot of other people. And I'm like, opposite of suspends disbelief.
Yeah.
Like it really just makes it seem like everything MJF is doing now is contrived and has been planned. And it's like, God damn it, guys. Like AEW is actually trying, I think, to catch up and get a little bit creative. They're a little burning the elite out of the promos. The situation with MJF, what's inevitably going to be yet another swerve. That whole other deal. And that upset me watching it. Dynamite, though, was a really great program this week.
Yeah.
And I will go ahead and address the elephant in the room. We finally saw the Elite addressed. They had a little like Thanos snap promo where they just kept disappearing out of AEW, which is clearly letting us know that they're on their way back.
Yes.
They just finally, I guess, completed their legal investigation. So what do you think? Do you think they're going to incorporate storyline with this and make it work? Do you think Punk's
I don't think
gone?
that they ever mention CM Punk on television ever again for the rest of the time.
I don't think so either. But did you guys also notice in the legal discovery that apparently in a pre-scheduled veterinary appointment, they noticed that 2 of Larry's teeth were knocked loose and had to get pulled when the door was knocked in.
I've heard that, but I've also heard that may not be true because
that sounds like
couldn't
bullshit.
be. So if it did happen, that's fucked up. But if it didn't, then we don't know. So I guess we'll have to wait for it to come out. But I've also heard like conflicting reports. Like Meltzer, who I was like reporting heavy on this shit, was like, all the people that I know never mentioned the dog's teeth getting knocked out. But
he had a veterinary appointment after the fact. So how the fuck would they have known? But also one thing Meltzer did say was that Ace Steel's wife, who was in the room, was one of the only people in the discovery in the investigation that was never interviewed, which is also kind of strange.
Yeah,
but again,
very weird.
So it also could be.
I mean, is it?
An old goddamn fucking lie.
I mean, she's the only one that wasn't employed as well.
Yes, that makes sense.
Except for the dog.
Yeah.
All I know is that we're probably never gonna know until like they come out with like a little documentary like 20 years later, like a Dark Side of the Ring, like the true story behind Brawl Out.
I don't care. I don't really care right now either. I just don't give a fuck. Let's also address the other CM Punk
back
rumor.
on TV. Get the Punk off.
Yeah, I agree. Get Punk off. I agree. But let's talk about those rumors too, because apparently the hang up here is that there is a buyout situation. Like they're talking numbers. What's that buyout contract going to be, right? And the only reason why a buyout would be on the table is because of the non-compete. Otherwise, he could just be like, okay, cool, I'll just sit at home and you'll just have to keep this contract and pay me.
That's not the only reason.
He is the one that's requesting the buyout. But that's the main reason.
That's not the only reason.
That's fair. It's not the only. Okay, you're right.
There are other rumors going around that he did have some semblance of an office role agreed to in part of his contract. And if that's the case, then a buyout actually litigiously would be necessary.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I will say that, either way, I don't think that we ever see him in a wrestling ring ever again, period. especially with Triple H. I just don't
Triple H fucking hates CM Punk.
Yeah, and I don't see that. And now it's like the more time goes on, it's like the more people just used to shit on Triple H about like, oh, he married the boss's daughter. That's the only reason why he was like upper mid Carter at best. That like got elevated by other main eventers, but he was never really main event guy. People that said the dumbest things, and then like, it's like, and then all the CM Punk, all that happened. What was it, 2013 or whatever? Like almost 10 years ago now. And it's like now since then though we've had NXT, and then we've had this situation with CM Punk, and it's like now that we all the internet's bigger now, and now that we all know a few more things, was Triple H ever really the bad guy in the first place, or was CM Punk literally always a dickhead?
But that's what
he's always been a dickhead. He's the modern day Bret Hart.
Always been a dickhead.
I'm just gonna say that.
I agree. Always been a dickhead.
Everyone else backstage at WWE during the time he was there said the same shit.
Yeah.
Yep. Fuck him. So yeah, that's what's going on there. So the only other really thing kind of interesting wrestling news that I saw, did you guys see your boy Zac Efron looking jacked, real jacked, baby, for his role as Kevin Von Erich?
Kevin Von E.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's playing Kevin Von Erich in the new movie Iron Claw. It's a movie about the Von Erich family, like a biopic, and Zac Efron is playing Kevin Von Erich.
He's got a bowl cut. He's fucking
What is this
jacked.
going to be on?
He's got a bowl cut. He's jacked. He's ready.
It's going to be on a movie.
It's a movie, like a Hollywood movie.
But like it's releasing in theaters.
Yes,
about the Von Erich family.
Yeah.
Of all, okay, all right.
There's a bunch of other stars involved too.
I'm hyped. First of all, I'm just gonna say that I'm hyped. But literally, of all the of all the wrestling things that you should make into a Hollywood movie, that's not the one.
I don't know, dude.
It's just so tragic. It's just like it makes a good movie.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, there's so many other ones. Like Chris Benoit's the number one that comes to mind. Like
the biggest territories that ever existed, and then you have 7 brothers or 15 brothers or 18 brothers or whatever the fuck, and at least 5 of them died in a crazy fashion. Most of them by suicide.
Suicide, yeah.
That tells me Hollywood movie. I'm just saying. Like, to me, that's a big capitalizing on the success of something like Dark Side on the Ring.
Somebody in Hollywood watched Dark Side of the Ring and they're like, that's a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm sorry. I mean, all right, listen, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to like it because I love pro wrestling and I like Zac Efron, and that's amazing that that's going to happen. Like, I'm excited to see that. I don't know. I feel like the Von Erich story, the Texas story, maybe it's just because I'm such a stan and it's such a mark that I've seen like every little in-depth thing about it. And it's going to be like, it's like watching the Elvis movie. Like if you're a deep musician, or if you have like lineage of music in your family, it's like your first thing you ever listened to was the Beatles and Elvis, right? It's like, it's like, yeah, you watch it. And it's
I used to sing Viva Las Vegas as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, it's like, this is great, but it's like, I'm so over Elvis. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just so over the Von Erich. I feel like I've heard the Von Erich story like so many times. Like the plane ride from hell. That 1 6-hour flight. That's a movie, bro. That's a movie.
Here's the difference, though.
New Jack biopic.
Yeah, New Jack. I would be more hyped for that, honestly.
We all have, but if you talk about a family with multiple suicides of children, with the lineage and what was rumored to be a very steadfast father that was pressuring them into the business and all of that fun stuff, the success of Texas and that entire thing, you talk about encapsulating that into a movie. A, it's easy. B, Chavo Guerrero has already signed on to be like the wrestling coordinator and all that fun shit. So it's going to be yet another one of those types of projects. It's like a Heels. Now, Heels was done really well, and I was skeptical of it, but it was
very
a really fucking great show.
Very good.
And I think that this is going to be like another version of that. Hollywood's going to continue to popularize this whole thing. If you haven't noticed, Vice already has 4 different Dark Side series based on the format that Dark Side of the Ring already had.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Dark Side of Comedy is great. Dark Side of the 90s, Dark Side of Football is bullshit. But at the same time, that's what they keep doing.
There's some good episodes. That was all right.
I'm just saying, it's still like they're learning from the conscript that is the mythology told by pro wrestling from day one. And I think as wrestling fans that we should all be probably proud of that, but we also have to take into account we're wrestling fans. Yes, we've heard the Von Erich story. Right. But has the world Has your average Joe motherfucker now that is like only ever watched like Vampire Diaries and shit, or like Dahmer, like, or all that other shit, like everybody watching true crime and stuff like that, like they don't know shit about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm just ready for the Chris Benoit biopic to come out.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying too. Like I feel like Crossface. I mean, I know for a fact that was not just a rumor. Like there was a script going around Hollywood like years ago, and I can't remember his name. I could see his face. He was a Hollywood guy, and he's still kind of a Hollywood guy, but he's not really as much anymore. I can't remember. He was in like Judge Dredd remake and like
with Carl Urban.
No, I think he was Sabretooth in the X-Men movies.
Oh, Liev Schreiber.
Yes, Liev Schreiber. He was gonna be Chris Benoit, and it's like first of all, you're way too tall.
Benoit versus Bowflex Part 2.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the Benoit story would be great. I feel like just Eddie Guerrero's life story would be great. I feel like Have a Nice Day, the Mick Foley book as a movie, but the book as a movie, but like a Lionsgate, almost like 80s-ish, 90s-ish movie where it's like it's just almost like a drama comedy, you know, like like I feel like that would be great.
The problem is they're still milking all of these things as documentaries.
But like the Stone Cold story, The Rock's actual biopic, Ric Flair's actual biopic, Hulk Hogan's actual biopic, the Von Erichs, bro.
Let's go back for a second. Isn't The Rock's actual biopic on NBC right now as a series under his?
Yeah. That's right.
Oh, it's a comedy show, man.
Dude, a Macho Man biopic would be crazy.
A Macho Man biopic, dude. Honestly, that would be a half
Miss Elizabeth, and then have like
half
Miss
his life is
dying with Lex Luger and all that shit.
Yeah,
that'd be gnarly.
Yeah. Lex Luger would be a great one. Played in the NFL.
God, yeah.
Goldberg, honestly, Goldberg's life as a movie, I'd watch it.
Goldberg.
I'm going to say this. I might regret it, but I'm going to say it. I think I would rather watch a great Hollywood Goldberg biopic than this. Genuinely.
Bold claim. I guess we'll see what happens when it comes out. So if you guys want to go ahead and move on into the meat and taters
really.
of
I'm
the
not
show.
really done talking about this movie, honestly. No,
Hey, you ready to move on into the meat and taters? You ready?
Let's get into the meat and potatoes, man. We're going to talk about the craziest bumps of all time that we like. The ones that stick out to us as like massive in-ring moments. So for me, for my grading process, it was both personal, like I do most of my list, both personal and like iconic moments that I feel like are undeniable. Like when you think of a massive holy shit moment in wrestling, even a casual will be like this. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of those.
So many. There's so many.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. And so it's like half and half, like 2.5. And 2.5 for me. I don't know. Wex, just give me a broad, like, how did you gauge when I said, like, hey, we're going to do the most awesome bumps, craziest bumps of all time? Where did your head go immediately? Like, don't give me the bump, but like, process.
Just like I said, kind of mentioned earlier, I just went for stuff that's been on like national TV or pay-per-view. I didn't want to go obscure indie deathmatch stuff because, you know, that can get real nitty-gritty with crazy-ass bumps. So I didn't include any of that. You know, you could go Zandig and Joey Janela, but I just wanted to keep this to like mainstream classic wrestling moments and stuff that really stuck out to me personally.
Yeah.
Like stuff that I remember. Like I remember how I felt like watching it, like, oh, right. Fuck. Like that was
Okay. And Jesse, you took kind of the same approach as me and Wex then essentially?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, it was more of like just certain things, not necessarily the most sickening, nutty things you're going to see. A lot of it had to do with like the platform that it was on. A lot of it had to do with like where it was, when it happened, why it happened, who was involved. And, you know, yeah, I don't know. There are a couple, there's one that may be disqualified, but we'll see.
I mean, I feel like the super deathmatch fans are not the kind of people that listen to this podcast anyway. So I don't think that they're going to be too upset.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about that shit. Here's the thing. If we want to do deathmatch bumps, we can do that as a completely different category. And guys, if you guys want to send in deathmatch bumps, fucking send them. Come on. Kayfabe comparisons. Let's go.
0% chance I will
this
ever
is all
cover
our
that.
Personal, like our personal opinions. That's not really the greatest. That's how we feel about these bumps.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Listen, guys, I want you to turn up the volume a little bit. If you don't like the show, fuck you. These are our ideas, right? Like this is how we're supposed to feel about them.
You're listening to this words for you
because it's our opinions, all right? And if you want to tell me your opinions, feel free. But I'm gonna go ahead and kick this thing off here. My top 5 craziest bump moments, and I'm going to get shit and hate for this one right off the bat, but I don't give a fuck. It sticks out to me. It's a personal moment. I was in the crowd when it happened, and it's also iconic for a brand that started, or at least lives mostly here in Nashville, Tennessee, and it's the Elix Skipper Cage Walk Frankensteiner. Ooh. That's my number 5 craziest bump moments of all time.
I almost put that motherfucker.
One of my honorable mentions, just like Jesse said, it almost made it.
It's a great bump. It's a great moment. It's nothing else in wrestling had happened at the time. And being there, I was very proud of TNA at that point, man. I was like, that was 2004, right? So I was like still wrestling. I was still wrestling at the fairgrounds where that happened on Saturdays. And a lot of times, like, the TNA guys would show up and get an extra couple $100 for their payday or whatever, because they were already in town for the pay-per-view. And I remember, like, you know, I worked secure. I was a guy in black pants and a black polo a couple times, a skinny little kid that I'm in a couple of those things on the TNA. What is it? TNA All Access or whatever it is.
Impact Plus. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was it's a personal moment for me, but also too, like, they put that in their highlight. It might still be in the Impact highlight reel.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah, so like
classic.
Amazing moment, amazing bump. Really solidified the in-ring product at the time. And I can't say enough good things about Elix Skipper, man. Like, if that dude had a better voice, he'd be a massive star. Wex, where you at? Number 5.
Coming in at number 5 for me, it's another one, like I said, it's close and special to me. It's when I really got hardcore back into wrestling, and this comes from Lucha Underground. And I'm talking about your boy Angelico, and I almost went with the crossbody from the balcony.
Which one are you talking about?
He also had a drop kick from the balcony to the ladder, and a fucking drop kick bump from the fucking balcony. Like, goddamn, and like, this is how I found out about Angelico, and he's in AEW till this day. I mean, you know, not really done much since Jack Evans left, but Angelico is a hell of a fucking athlete, and he's known more of as like a submission wrestler. But that bump right there, that was one of those ones I was just like, holy fucking shit, dude. Lucha Underground was way ahead of its time, and dude, go back and watch that bump. It's fucking crazy.
It's insane. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Drop kick from the goddamn balcony to the ladder.
It's not only that, too. It's like the visual of him, like, it's a hard cam show, right? And there's essentially like bleachers, like almost like old school 1970s built high school with like the wooden bleachers that pull out of the wall. That's almost what it feels like, right? He runs from the entire top row of the bleachers all the way around on top of the office. Like, I feel like the momentum of him running is what makes it so intense. Because if he had just stood on the balcony and then jumped off and like hit it, it would have been cool, but that whole windup of the massive run was like, there's no way he's going to do it. There's no way he's going to do it. And then he does it, and you're like, holy shit. That anticipation, awesome bump, man. Great choice. Jesse, where you at number 5?
My number 5 is going to be real random. It is from an arbitrary Monday Night Raw in 2001. And it is the Kurt Angle moonsault off the cage versus Chris Benoit.
Good.
When Chris moves. And there's a big reason this is impactful to me. A moonsault off the cage has been done prior and has been done since. However, at this point in time, in 2001, an athlete like Kurt Angle, in his particular shape and his particular style, was not the type of person to do that kind of thing.
Totally.
He fucking knew he was going to miss it, and he took a full-on backflip onto the belly off of the top of that steel cage. And if you watch the impact of that bump, you can see the crowd reaction and how everybody else goes. And it was one of those things where I remember watching it live and I was just like, I can't believe that he just did that, because he wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
Like, Kurt Angle wasn't at that point, like,
this was pre-Perk Angle, way pre-Perk Angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a couple of things that had happened that were like a little bit, you know, like there were a couple of things with other wrestlers that were intense, but nothing like that.
Yeah.
And watching that he got air on that moonsault, and then landed flat the fuck. He knew what he was doing. I have to give him kudos.
Yeah.
That's my number 5, man.
Yeah. Same bump happened.
That's a really sick one.
Same bump happened in 2012. Cody Rhodes and Goldust against the New Age Outlaws.
Oh yeah.
The New Age Outlaws of all teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was actually right before Stardust happened. It was when he kept losing with Goldust, and then he became Stardust, and they started winning again or whatever.
Yeah, and we got to see them win their tag team championships in Nashville.
We did.
Night of Champions.
I will say though that Kurt Angle did that bump again in TNA against Ken Anderson and actually nailed it. And it was fucking nutty. But
yeah. Nutty indeed. Okay, so here's my number 4, guys. My number 4, I feel like you guys are going to applaud me because I don't ever do obscure shit, but this one sticks out of my brain really hard. And this is the only bump that I was going to say that's not on. It was never on a major TV show, but it was all over the internet. Everyone that likes wrestling, even casuals, have seen this moment over the years, and it's the Joey Janela and Zandig bump off the roof into that truck bed. Everyone's seen it on Twitter. Everyone's seen it.
Yeah.
That moment, the only reason why it's not number 1 is because there's a few million people less that have seen it. Honestly, when I saw that happen, I was like, and neither one of them were hurt either. And at that point, I was like, okay, wait, does pro wrestling just because they're both it's a work to both of them? Do regular laws of physics not work anymore? Because that's kind of what it feels like.
No, Joey was hurt.
Yeah, but Joey not
fucking cut his tendon in his finger.
Yeah. I know he cut his tendon, but he didn't break his fucking spine. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it looked like should have happened. Had any normal human being done that same thing, not in a wrestling match, dead. On the spot. Immediately dead. I mean, it
made Joey's career.
Dude.
Jesus!
It made his career.
Yeah.
It made his career. It's an amazing bump. If you don't know what I'm talking about, literally Google these 3 words. 3 words. Joey, Janela, roof. Those 3.
Dig.
No, you don't even have to do that. It's going to come up immediately.
We're gonna have to put some links, by the way. We're gonna we're gonna have to do some follow up here.
This is my only obscure one, by the way. But if you haven't seen it, it's crazy.
Since you mentioned that one, let's give an honorable mention to the sick Nick Amando weed whacker to the chest.
Yeah.
We got to give an honorable mention to that one because that's one of those other ones that everybody who's watched wrestling videos on YouTube has seen that shit, and I've never seen that before or after. That's just the most whack fucking insane shit. But it's sick Nick Amando, and shout out to him. He does some video work for Mox and AEW and shit.
Nick, too much Mondo.
Yeah. Number 4, Mr. Wexley.
Coming in at number 4 for me is a very recent bump, and I'm sure you guys remember this. This was Darby Allin versus Cody Rhodes in one of their first matches when Darby did the coffin drop from the top rope and Cody moved out of the way, and he just fucking mid-spined the fucking apron. And one of the most brutal, gnarly bumps I've ever seen anybody willingly take.
Yeah.
When that happened, I was like, "Oh my god, he's injured. He's dead. He's fucking injured." And then he wasn't, and then that's when I went "Holy shit, Darby Allin really is that guy."
Yeah, he is that guy. Yeah, I remember that vividly. I didn't even think of it because I was thinking of top 5 ever, and for me. But dude, that is a gnarly one for sure, man. Darby Allin.
I'll never forget that shit. That's just
that body bag bump that he took too, was insane. The getting tossed and the small thing getting tossed down the stairs when they were during quarantine when Ethan Page had just made his
that was
move.
fucking sick too.
That was an insane he was not just it wasn't like the empty stadium I Quit match with during the Super Bowl with Foley where he's obviously working himself down the stairs he just
Darby
got
just
thrown
took
down
it.
the
He
stairs.
sent it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Darby Allin's a crazy motherfucker.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Them skaters.
Number 4, Jesse.
God damn it. Okay. My number 4, I wrestled with this one for a minute. I wound up leaving off all Hardy bumps on purpose because there was a rule I made for myself.
I did not, but we'll get to
that. Not me.
It was a rule I made for myself because it would have been too easy. So this was going to be a Hardy bump, but instead, and this is another profile one, I'm going the Edge spear to Mick Foley off the ropes at WrestleMania 20 in the hardcore match through the flaming table involving Lita. Yeah. And here's why.
Yeah.
It is far less than the craziest bump that I've ever seen. I'm not going to say that. But I will say that on the platform it was on the 20th anniversary of the Super Bowl of Wrestling in Madison Square Garden, on Vince McMahon's television, there is a flaming table. There is a man that spears another man who has been retired for some time technically.
Yes.
And sends him reeling through a table. This also involves a bloody-faced woman, which at that time was also not a thing that really happened on WWE TV.
Agreed.
And if you look at the way that the lighter fluid and everything dissipated, just that fallout, the way they sold it, every fucking part of it, it was illustrated perfectly. This was such an artistic, amazing bump to end such an intense match that
it was a Disney death match.
Never should have happened on a WrestleMania, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying it should have happened on a WrestleMania because it was fucking awesome. The platform renders it one of the craziest bumps that I've ever seen because it's not something we ever would have seen on WWE TV in any other fucking way.
Fully agree. Man, that's a really good point. That's a really good one. Also, too, like, when I say, like think of, like The Mandalorian. Like, when I say Disney, like, produced, I don't mean, like, Beauty and the Beast. I mean, like, you know, Andor or, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi or The Mandalorian or The Avengers or whatever, you know? So, like, to me, that match you just described is, like, CZW death match for, like, wrestling fans, but done with Disney production. That was that Foley Edge match. Yeah, and that's what I mean. But it's, like, production value on 100. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, just done perfectly. Man, honestly, I'm glad that you said that about Hardy, because my number 3, my bronze medal, is the iconic Hardy Edge spear. It's the big swing. Shit. It's the big swing into the spear. Got to get the bronze medal at the very minimum. I mean, to me, you cannot have a list of craziest bumps and not have Jeff Hardy somewhere on the list. But this one's just so iconic, too, because the reason why I think this is so amazing is because it's a generic move at this point. The spear is a generic move that tons of people use. And it was executed pretty standardly. The only difference is it's literally, and then no exaggeration, minimum 20, 22 feet in the air. Like, that's kind of insane. Like, it's kind of insane. And they kept their technique. The form was, it was a perfect bump. It was a perfect
bump. 20-foot ladder.
But, like, the timing that you have to have. And you know what? Honestly, we got to give Bubba Ray a lot of credit for holding the ladder, pulling Jeff back so he would get the spring, the swing in, you know what I mean? Like, but the moment, it was literal art. It was literal Cirque du Soleil art. It was perfectly executed. And just an amazing moment that I don't think anybody could say, like, oh, well, that, you know, this shit's clearly fake or whatever. It's like, I don't give a fuck who you are. No, number one, that hurts. Number two, it was beautiful. Like, it was just executed so pretty. It's an iconic moment. It'll be in highlights for 50 years.
It's forever. Like that. Yeah,
the TLC swing.
No clip, no opening, no nothing that is not going to involve some semblance of that.
Agreed. Fully agreed. Wex, we're into bronze medals, baby. Where you at?
Okay, for my bronze medal, it's one that's it's kind of obscure. You probably guys won't think about this until I say it, but it's from a TLC pay-per-view, and it's Kalisto hitting the Salida del Sol through the ladder on Jey Uso off the top.
Ooh.
I remember that.
That was one of the fucking sickest bumps I've ever seen executed, and it was just done so perfectly. And then right after that, Sin Cara did follow up with a Swanton Bomb on top of it also, which add a little extra fuel to it. But that bump alone, dude, it's just fucking crazy. And it's just sad to see, like, Kalisto went from doing crazy shit like that to, like, being in Mexico and wrestling one-offs in AEW and just kind of fading away. But, like, he's a good wrestler. I don't know why he doesn't get a shot.
Well, I think he hurt a couple of guys.
Okay. Well, I don't care.
I don't think that's it. I just heard that I think he believes his own shit.
Oh, he's one of those guys. And he does have one of the funniest iconic moments when he got drafted to SmackDown. He was like, I'm ready to do some good lucha things, and just ran off.
Yeah.
Good lucha things. Good lucha things.
That bump was some good lucha things, and I'll always remember that. It was just it was amazing.
Well, I'm going to confess, my bronze medal is a weird one, only because it is an ECW bump, an original ECW bump. But it's not going to be something I think a lot of people think is crazy, but it was crazy to me. ECW Heatwave 1998. There's a match between Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow.
I know what you're talking about.
And the reverse, basically, Bam Bam Bigelow tries to suplex Taz. Taz reverses it into a DDT. And DDT's Bam Bam Bigelow through the goddamn entrance ramp.
That literally is my honorable mention. Yeah, because I didn't. Yeah.
Why I think it's so important, because in ECW you saw so much crazy shit. You saw people diving off balconies and through tables and fucking barbed wire and cookie sheets and carts and name it. You saw it in ECW. However, can you name me another promotion where you saw somebody go through the entrance ramp at that point in time?
Not a one.
Nah.
Not a one.
None.
It was the only unexpected bump ECW could have done.
WCW ripped it off like 2 months later.
They did. But at that point in time, you never would have known. Obviously, a lot of people didn't see ECW at that point in time. But I'm saying, at that point in time, when I saw it live, I was like, holy fuck. And it was also very fucking believable. And it's like, I don't know. To me, that was a way to take an extreme promotion who's done everything under the fucking sun and kind of grow it into a scenario of here's how we rewrite the narrative of here's what did happen, here's what didn't happen, and here's what we can do with it. Between two guys like Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow who don't have to do super extreme shit, going through that ramp was one of the more surprising things to me. Yeah. That they ever did, and I, to be honest, I thought that it made the match.
Yeah, I mean, it's an iconic moment. It was literally honorable mention on my list. The only reason why I didn't put it on my list, this one and I'll just say it now. My other honorable mention was, I think it was Living Dangerously, also in 1998, when they had that it's not a forklift, but it's like the little cage lift thing. And it was the Dudleys and New Jack. Anyway, there's a little lift thing, and New Jack is standing on top of the entranceway and hits Bubba, and then the thing goes back down, and he falls on it, and it goes back down. Yeah. And he dives 50 running dive, 50 feet on a little Guido onto two tables.
Yeah,
that was my other honorable mention. The only reason why I didn't put those ECW ones in there is because I didn't think that enough people had seen it. And honestly, I felt like I put the Joey Janela one in there because I felt like when that thing went viral, it was everywhere. Everywhere. But yeah, dude, both those bumps are insane. That Taz Bam Bam bump is so iconic. It was used forever. So creative.
I have one honorable mention, and I feel like, Wes, do you have an honorable mention?
I mean, you guys have mentioned a few of my honorable mentions pretty much, and I have one more I guess I'll toss in there, and that's Undertaker choke slamming Spike Dudley just straight to the fucking outside.
Yeah. That's fucking gnarly. My honorable mention was the RVD pile driver bump with Tommy Dreamer, November to Remember 1996.
Oh, November to Remember, yeah.
I mean, that's just one of those that's that's just one of those perfectly executed. Nobody got hurt. Nobody fucking nothing was bad. But god damn, it just looks
the most amazing bump you've ever seen.
Yeah, so fucking good. Silver medal.
So well done,
Mr.
Just good wrestling. Silver medal. Here we go. All right, silver medal. Number 2 for me. It's crazy that this dude is just known for these massive ass bumps, but it's Shane McMahon. It's SummerSlam 2000. It's the Steve Blackman
bump. Yeah.
Tron. The weak ass whack to the back, the softest whack. But that bump is in. I don't give a damn. You're like, oh, it's a crash, but I don't give a fuck. That dude was like 180 feet in the air. Like that dude might as well have a parachute on. He's literally he took an Owen Hart bump into a crash pad. That's what he did. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and say it though. It was the top of the rafters, bro.
Yeah, an Owen Hart bump into the fucking crash pad. Better than a turnbuckle, I guess.
Yeah, there's no turnbuckle, so he's still alive.
Shit.
Right. Craziest bump, man. Steve Blackman. All right, Steve Blackman will never make my list of good things ever for wrestling. It just won't ever. But like the fact that he's on this list, man, at number 2 too. Like, dude, okay, it was SummerSlam 2000, and like the business was never bigger, right? We're almost to WrestleMania 17, like, and that was the absolute peak. That was the pop of the bubble. We did nothing but come down after that. Now, that's not to say we didn't come down fast. So they were still up in 2002, 2003, around to the end of 2004. I'd say WrestleMania 19 was like the end of the heyday WrestleManias, right? So SummerSlam 2000, man, the business is popping. Stone Cold's out. He's been hit by Rikishi. We don't know it yet, but it was Rikishi, by the way. He did it for The Rock. He did it for the people. And we got a lot of other shit going on. But the crazy thing, dude, the fact that Steve Blackman and Shane McMahon made it to a SummerSlam. Like, think about those guys in general in wrestling. They made it to the card. And I don't know if there are maybe one or two bigger WWF bumps ever. Like, most memorable, just single moment bumps. Like, Shane McMahon, dude.
That's just good producers.
Shane McMahon's responsible for most of them.
Those people are like, hey, you're Shane McMahon and Steve Blackman. How are we going to make this special? Well, you guys are both going to climb a really long time, and some crazy shit's going to happen. And it's going to be the only season that anyone ever remembers that this occurred in the first place.
Craziest, like, dude, yeah. I mean, not the craziest, but silver medal, one of the craziest bumps I've ever seen in my life. Insane. Oh, it was in a crash pad. Dude, fuck you. It was amazing. It was awesome.
Who cares about the crash? Yeah, fuck.
I don't care.
You fall in a crash pad from fucking 35,000 feet high or whatever the fuck it was, and then bitch at anybody.
Ridiculous. Yeah. That was an Owen Hart level bump. I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's keep it going here. Wex.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so coming at number 2 for me, I kind of had 2 Jeff Hardy bumps that I had tied, and then you took one of them. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use the other one, and it's also a Jeff Hardy Edge thing, but this time it's Jeff Hardy doing the leg drop off the ladder through the ladder at WrestleMania on Edge.
Yep.
I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about, and Edge immediately got carted off after that. Like, he was completely fucked. I think Jeff Hardy did. Like, it was just – that was the first time I'd see anybody really go through a ladder.
Yeah.
Like, they do that now. It's a dime a dozen. That was the first time.
Yeah.
I thought it was insane.
In the middle that way, like that was the.
Yeah. And it was it looked super cool. It was super sick, and I thought you thought he was going to do a swanton, but that leg drop was just as devastating. That's also his secondary big move. But dude, such a sick fucking bump. Probably hurt just as much as the spear. Maybe not as iconic as the spear, but definitely just as painful.
Oh, it had to have been just as painful.
Because Edge was out for a while after that. That was pretty bad. I was
going to say, probably way more painful. Like,
it had to be.
I would say way more. Way more.
It had to be. Man.
That's number 2 for me. I thought that was just a fucking brutal Jeff Hardy bump. And Jeff Hardy has so many crazy ones, but it's just kind of hard to narrow it down.
I mean, the one against Bubba on the in the entranceway where he just fucking barely grazes Bubba with his head.
Oh yeah,
Bubba's just fat enough to break the table on his own, and he just lands straight on his ass. Like,
He had an early one at TNA too, where he like ran from the top of the fucking entranceway and swanton to over the stage. Like, dude.
I'll say another one of my honorable mentions was, and originally it was in my countdown, was that tables match between the Dudleys and the Hardys at Royal Rumble 2000, the finish, when Hardy does the swanton off the mezzanine through the table. Yeah. I mean, it was just a first. And
definitely. Like, when I saw that shit, I was like, "Oh, dude, I love the Hardy Boys."
So we can keep on going for days, but I'm gonna get to my silver.
Let's go.
And you guys might disqualify this one because there was an injury as a result. However, the bump was taken on purpose, and Starrcade, 1986, the scaffold match between the Midnight Express and the Road Warriors.
Ooh.
As you get onto the scaffold and you find out the biggest thing that anybody wants to see is our favorite buddy, Mr. Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Climb onto the scaffold and get trapped and not be able to find his way down. He starts to try and get down. He grabs the side of it. He grabs the middle of it. He drops down from that scaffold. That bump, watching how he falls, and he did it on like it was 110% planned. Now, apparently he did break his leg is what he says. I don't know if I believe him because it's Jim Cornette.
He blew out both his knees.
That's what he says. But
yeah,
it's Jim Cornette. So either way, I just think that watching that bump and watching like the Night of the Skyscrapers and expecting a bump that's going to happen with the wrestlers, however, seeing it, like seeing the comeuppance on the manager and the way the crowd reacted to that entire thing probably was one of the craziest injuries anybody ever saw at that point in time.
Yeah. No, that was insane. You're right. That's a good spot too. Like I feel like it's an iconic moment in wrestling. Next week, just quick spoiler, we're gonna do top 5 botches of all time, botch spots or bumps that shouldn't have happened. And that's gonna be really fun. I might even make that a top 10 because that's just a crazy list. But yeah, I mean, I think that with this scaffold match specifically, I mean, he did everything he could to like get as low as he could off that scaffold, but there was no gimmick in the scaffold. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a true painter's scaffold. Like he was legitimately 20 feet in the air. Not like when Vince McMahon or when Jim Ross says that like Jeff Hardy's 20 feet in the air. I mean like an actual 20 feet in the air. Like so yeah, crazy stuff.
He took that. I mean, it was a planned bump. It was the planned finish. It was the planned scenario. He just happened to fucking hurt himself. But at the same time, like, man, that was one of the more pentultimate things that happened in professional wrestling at that point in time. You want to see anybody get their come out. That'd be like watching Paul Heyman get thrown off the Hell in the Cell. You want to fucking pop? That's going to happen.
Yeah. I agree. Fully agree. Are we ready for number ones now?
Number one. I'm sure we're probably going to have the same number one, right?
I feel like we all have to have the same number one.
It's going to be unanimous, I'm sure.
Nope.
All right, Wex, you want to say it on 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Mankind
off Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, and
it has
even only one of those bumps was planned but didn't go as executed. The toss off the cell, that was planned. Just the power bomb.
And went as executed. He even says
the power bomb was
if I landed it perfect.
Break through and him go all the way down. Like, that was not supposed to happen, but the throw off the cell, the thumbtacks, everything else was 100%. They meant to take the dude, and it's just so fucking iconic. Like, I mean,
yeah, that's number one. It's number one overall. It's got to be the most impactful, crazy bump in the history of wrestling. Period.
Yeah, like, at least for people who grew up watching it, like in our era. If you grew up after that,
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because that was like the first crazy, like, holy shit! Like, did this really just happen on WWF pay-per-view?
Right. No. Yeah. I mean, yeah. To me, there's no debate, in my opinion. That, like, this has to be the craziest bump of all time. Like, it just has to be. I mean, like, well, I mean, if we're talking about the pantheon of like who has seen it, right? Like, I mean, I feel like everyone. Like, my grandmother has seen that bump at some point. You know what I mean? Whether it was in, like, a meme or whatever. Like, it's the craziest wrestling bump of all time to me. I remember where I was and how I felt. It's one of those few times when you're watching a pro wrestling show, especially when you're a super jaded, stan mark like we all are. Like, and you stand up. Like, I'm not that kind of person. Like, I love football. I'm passionate, but I'm not like big play. You stand up, like that's dumb. Like that was a visceral, physical feeling. Like, I stood up and jumped, and I was like there's no way that just happened. Like, there's like, and I was like, it was. I don't know if suspension of like. It's so weird because that moment crosses. There's no more suspension of disbelief. Like, he literally went through an announcer's table to a concrete arena, which probably still had like an ice rink underneath it. Like,
dude, that's literally the first year I really started watching wrestling. I remember like getting the copied tape from the cheater box that my granddad used to have, and he recorded it for me. And I remember the first time watching it just being like, oh my, like I'd never seen anything like that at that point. Yeah. I was 7 years old, if that makes any sense. I was mind blown.
It's hard. Now it's also very overplayed. But like if you were old enough to have seen it live, there is nothing in pro wrestling that has ever happened, ever, that has made me physically move my body more than that moment, ever. Like, as a fan.
It's so iconic. A random redneck at my job was like, oh, yeah, remember Mick Foley got thrown off the cage? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I don't see how he walks. I was like, hell yeah.
He does.
All right, well.
All right, Jesse.
I was the odd man.
Ruin and Steven.
I figured everyone knew that was the craziest bump on Earth, so I didn't do that.
Okay.
I'm like, well, I figure that's low-hanging fruit. Yeah. And this is going to be really fucking obscure and no one's going to care, so it's going to be quick. But mine is the Hamrick bump. There's a Southern wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Hamrick.
No, that's a good one.
Oh, my God. I know what you're talking about.
And every fucking enhancement match that he ever did for WWE, for any other company, he did it for Music City Wrestling, he did it for XPW, he did it for a bunch of other places. I mean, he's been all over the goddamn map. And his whole bump is somehow he gets kicked out from under his leg and he goes between the first and second rope onto his ass to the outside. And I am sorry, but to do that consistently all the time, well, I mean, his ass and his back. I mean, that dude's spine has to be non-existent at this point. I don't even know if he's still alive. I have no fucking idea. I'm just saying.
I've seen some rough ones.
It's real bad. But YouTube, again, we're going to have to link some shit here, but like we got that Hamrick bump we're going to have to post because it's fucking unbelievable to see. I was going for a little bit less low-hanging fruit. Obviously, the Mick Foley bump off the Hell in a Cell is one of the most iconic things ever. It is one of the biggest way, if not the biggest way, to actually show people, hey, when you say fake, you're fucking wrong. The Mick Foley Hell in the Cell bump is the biggest way to say, when you say fake, you are fucking wrong. And, yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to get a little outside the box. But that hammer.
I do like that bump, though. That is a good bump. It's
that's
fucking it's a hilarious
bump.
I love watching it.
That's a really good one, honestly. It's not just – it's like, first of all, there's very few wrestlers that have their own bump, period, that's just unique to them.
Yeah.
And also it's almost like it's a very Paul Heyman thing of you to do because it's like technically this is a bump, but it's also happened like thousands of times. So it's like you find this odd loophole and make it the Jesse Baker #1 where it's like it's not even just one occurrence. Like it's actually just the bump that happens a lot. Like I did not think of that. It's well played. It's very clever. It's very well played. I appreciate that. Very well booked, my friend. The Hamrick bump is insane. If you don't know what we're talking about, literally just Google it. Hamrick bump.
Oh, we'll link it on the page. I don't have access to the page, but like we should link it onto all of our socials at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
We absolutely will do that. That's going to be awesome. Man, this one was fun. This one was very fun.
I like it.
I think next week we're going to do the botches. That's going to be really fun too. Before we get there, though, we have a few more games to play. Are you guys ready for? In my opinion, this is the best part of the show, right? Like this is my favorite, like little trivia section. Last week, me and Wex decided that it's going to be a hardcore championship edition. So it has to be a hardcore champion. We're going to do a Who Am I? You get your 3 facts as always, and you get 3 guesses. Last week there was just 2 of us, so I think we did 5 and 5. But it was a fun time. I'm excited. So I'm going to start things off here. We're doing a Who Am I for hardcore champions. I'm going to give you guys your 3 facts. Are you ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I am a 1-time AWA World Tag Team Champion. I am a 1-time WWF Intercontinental Champion. I achieved Worst Match of the Year in 2000. Who am I? obviously I'm a hardcore champion as well because it's a hardcore championship edition.
Did I ever wrestle for WCW?
No.
Was I ever a WWF tag team champion?
I was not. I was not a tag team champion,
no. Was I in ECW?
No.
This is going to be really tough. Fuck Lifeline? AWA. That's taking it back.
Not really.
Lifeline?
Not necessarily. Huh? Lifeline?
Yeah, so this one's going to be a more obvious hint, and you will each get one guess. So we go with that?
Sure.
Okay. I got match of the year in 1981 against Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh.
Big Boss Man?
You get one guess. Is that your one guess?
Well, that's obviously wrong if you said that, so no.
No. Okay. Jesse, you got one guess. Yes, Jesse!
Oh, Pat Patterson.
Well that's a good one. Well done, sir. I've been trying to put Pat Patterson in my Who Am I for so long. Like, it's been a determined thing to do here. It was a brief hardcore champion. He was also a 24/7 champion. I thought I think that they had a moment on Raw where like him and Briscoe like won the tag team championships and like held the belts, but then like the referee reversed the decision because of like
I remember
outside interference or something like that. Like
Stooges, and they would come out.
Yeah, when they were the Stooges. So like when you said like the tag team champions, I was like, I feel like they were, but maybe they weren't. So I had to like make sure. But yeah, Pat Patterson, man, what a good one. I'm super excited about it. Jesse, since you got it right, give us 3 facts. Your hardcore championship edition. Who is your Who Am I?
I feel really bad because I don't think you guys are going to get this. I just thought the facts I found are interesting. So
okay,
here we go. I began my career in Omega, which is Jeff and Matt Hardy's promotion, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Was the odd man out in a 3-person faction.
Okay.
I was the first person to receive a Stone Cold Stunner on WWF television.
Am I just incredible?
Nope. You still have questions, by the way.
Did I wrestle in WCW?
Nope. Well, I mean, if you did it as an enhancement, possibly, but like not known by anybody.
The faction that I was an odd man out in was in the past 10 years.
It was during the Attitude Era.
During the Attitude Era, okay.
This is tough. Was I ever a tag team champion?
I don't think so. I don't honestly know the answer to that question. But in order to give you a lifeline as an answer to that question, I will tell you that the career inside the WWE, in all honesty, like, dude retired in 2001.
Oh, okay.
And was only around for like 3 to 4 years.
I think I know who it is. Is it Joey Abs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God damn it.
I was like, odd man out faction. Like, that's what really got me. And then when you just told him, like, oh, no, he was like, by like 2001, I'm out. And I'm like, odd man. And I was like, oh, it's got to be like the only actual wrestler in the Street Posse.
Looking that up, I had no idea. He was the first person to take a Stone Cold Stunner on WWF TV.
But he was a security guy,
I never knew that.
Yeah, but still, like, he was the first person to take a fucking stunner, though. Like,
right.
That's not.
Well, I mean, Savio Vega took it in a match.
Well,
yeah, it was like a pay-per-view, right?
The first person, like, I would have fucking used that to get gimmicks for the rest of my life. Like,
yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yes, real life gimmicks in the shoot world. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That's amazing. That's awesome. I love it. Wex, where you got? What you got for us?
Okay. Start off. I am a 2-time hardcore champion.
Okay.
I have been a tag team champion in WWE, New Japan, and Noah.
Okay.
And I almost died from a spinal infection in 1998. Who am I?
Are you A-Train?
Not A-Train.
My test?
You're not Test. I will say you almost died in 1998 from a bump you took in WCW. If that helps.
A British Bulldog.
Fuck.
Damn.
You got it real
well
quick.
Done.
God damn.
Well done. No, that was good. I think Rick Rude was going to be my next guess, and then Bulldog. But yeah,
because he bumped on the trap door that was for Ultimate Warrior.
Go for Warrior.
Yep.
And got real fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, you got that quick. I should have left that tidbit out because you might have guessed Steve Blackman because he almost died too.
Did he?
From like viral meningitis or something like that.
Oh, wasn't that from the Lions Den match too?
I thought he had diverticulitis or something.
Or something like that, but it was right after that. Yeah, he almost died. He was in the hospital for like a year.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's wild for sure. Man, Jesse brought us this idea. We're going to do one more thing. It's
let's hit it.
Cut or keep, right? So I'm going to give you these people that were on the show at Halloween Havoc for NXT. Because let's be honest, man. WWE is getting way better. The main roster is getting way better. NXT 2.0 sucks shit. It's not been good since it was black and gold. The whole show sucks. I don't have a lot of faith in most of this new roster. Some of these people I like a lot, but a lot of them I've seen in other promotions and I already knew they were good, right? So I don't know. You guys tell me, right? So I'm just gonna give out some names. We're gonna go down the list for everybody that actually was on the main card of Halloween Havoc NXT, and let me know if you were running a developmental. Would you cut them or keep them? Right?
So cut them or start them.
I'm gonna throw this out here real quick.
Yeah.
I'm naming a date in my notebook right now. I'm naming the three of us. So our keeps are going to be noted in this notebook, and we're going to keep this series going. And then at some point, we're going to have an entire roster. We're going to see how that.
Okay. I love it. I love this. This is going to be great. All right. Are you ready?
Okay.
So match number 1 is the ladder match for the vacant NXT North American Championship. Would you cut or keep Wesley? Jesse.
I'd cut.
Yeah, I'd cut him as a solo. If he was a tag team, I'd keep him.
Go and keep on that one. So you can mark that down for me. Carmelo Hayes. Jesse.
Keep.
Keep.
I'm going keep as well on Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. I'll make it up. Promise. I'm not keeping everybody. Oh, next one. Oro Mensa. Jesse.
I've got to cut because I don't know or care who that is.
Who?
Don't know or care.
As soon as you said that name, I said, who? Cut.
Yeah, cut. Cut. So we're all cutting him. Jesse, Von Wagner.
Cut.
Wex.
Yeah, especially after hit that fan in the head with that fucking ladder. Cut.
Cut. Robert Stone. Jesse.
That's a keep.
Wex.
Keep as a manager, cut as a wrestler.
That doesn't count. Keep or cut.
Cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going keep. I'm keeping Stone. Nathan Frazier. Jesse.
Keep.
Oh, Wex, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Keep.
You like Nathan Frazier?
Yes, I'm a keeper on that one.
I don't know who he is, so I got to cut.
Same.
He used to be, what's his name?
No, I know who he is, but I still don't care.
I didn't know.
I saw him at TWE, British guy.
Ben something or other.
Yeah, he wrestled for AEW, New Japan. He's a good wrestler.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. So Apollo Crews, cut or keep?
That's hard.
I'm keeping.
I'm going to keep.
Cut. No Apollo for me. We've seen it. It's been years, guys. The potential train's already left. And maybe he did have the potential 6 years ago. But guess what? It was 6 years. And that was the time that we kind of needed him to be good. And he wasn't. So I don't really care. He's old news now. Cut. Grayson Waller. Cut or keep, Jesse?
Cut.
Cut, Ski. Get him out of here.
I'm keeping Grayson Waller.
Ooh, he's a Waller guy. Waller, I hardly know her.
Wick.
Yeah, no, he's not whack at all. He's actually an incredible athlete, but we'll keep that going. I don't think he's got a good gimmick at all. I'd completely change his name and repackage him totally, but I think Grayson Waller is an amazing athlete. I'd put Robert Snow with him.
Whoever I wanted to
I would not talk at all.
It'd be great, but
we'll get to that. Apparently, Jesse's keeping notes. I'll justify all my shit. Don't worry about it. All right, Roxanne Perez, cut or keep?
Who? It's Roxy.
Roxanne Perez.
A.K.A. Roxy.
No. Yeah. Roxy, yeah.
Nah.
Jesse, got to keep.
I don't know if I'm not sure if it's fair to play women's roster on NXT right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, the other one's Cora Jade. She was the other one in the match, and I'd keep her.
I know, but I mean, the thing is that like for most of it, they've all been flip flopping where everybody's going, and so like it's really hard to like. I mean, we can if you want. My vote, cut.
I'm gonna cut.
All right, how about this one, man? The next match here was Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp, but I'd rather just say, would you cut or keep the Creed brothers? Jesse,
cut. Oh, sorry, I jumped the gun.
All right, Wex is cutting them. Jesse, where you at?
It's fucking boring.
You don't like the Creed brothers, really?
They're boring.
All right, cool. I'm gonna cut them too. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I'll let them go. I don't want to fill up my roster here. Mandy Rose, cut or keep, Jesse?
I mean, cut, really.
Wex?
Cut.
They were all cutting. All right. Alba Fire.
Who?
Jesse.
You didn't even know the last name, so I'm pretty sure we're...
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, my God. Okay. No, this is a good one. Braun Breaker, Jesse.
I mean, keep, you know.
Wex.
Yeah, he's a good young prospect. I'm going to keep him.
Fuck that, dude. Fuck that guy. No, I don't want him even sitting in my crowd. I don't want that dude anywhere near my show. Absolutely not. Cut all day, every day.
10-4.
But he's related to the guy with the world's largest arms.
You could erase the Steiner existence from wrestling, and it would not matter to me one bit.
Okay,
the entire body of all of their family don't need it. Isla Dragunov, Jesse.
Keep.
Wex.
He's sick.
Keep for sure. JD McDonough, a.k.a. Jordan Devlin.
I'm going to say, and this is probably controversial, but I'm going to say cut.
Okay.
Me too. I'm saying cut. Fuck him.
Yeah, I'm actually saying cut too.
Yeah.
I think he's the Wish version of Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Finn Balor is already over. Like, I think it's just done. No, when I say over, I don't mean a wrestling term. I mean, like, it's already happened. Yeah. Like, we're done with it. The height of Finn Balor was 2017. He's never getting back to that level. He's literally the Irish Dolph Ziggler at this point.
At this point in time, I think Finn Balor's best situation would be to actually go back to being, you know, Prince Devitt, Fergal Devitt, whatever he wanted to do.
Just go back to New Japan. That'd be
please, God, don't go to AEW. Go to New Japan. Don't go to AEW. They're going to ruin you there.
I think he could have a future in WWE, but I think that he has to be – first off, he can't be a heel. It's not possible. Like, he needs to be a babyface mid-card.
He needs to go away.
Dolph Ziggler type wrestler in WWE.
I love Finn Balor. He's honestly my favorite WWE wrestler.
I mean, like, he needs to go away for a while. Like, that's not what I didn't mean like go away heat. I mean like he can't just all of a sudden turn babyface. Like he needs to get hurt or like even if it's just kayfabe hurt and just be off TV for a while.
Get kicked out of the Judgment Day.
Come back, like a fresh start. Like
I'm not saying turn right now. Like have Dominic kick his ass and then eventually he comes back 6 months from now and fucking gets revenge against Dominic and Rhea Ripley or whatever the fuck.
That'd be just the demon to take down the Judgment Day.
But I don't think you need the.
Oh, that'd be great. That's money.
I don't think you need the demon. I think you just.
I do. You need that.
No, I think
that's
you do.
Money. That's money.
Yeah. At this point, we're almost to like the point where we're literally old enough to where it's almost nostalgia. You got to realize in 2 years, the demon will be nostalgia.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Like. Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's like we say the same shit about Bray. Everything's just being sped up. Like.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it doesn't hurt. And honestly, that's what I'm saying. Like. Okay, if we're talking about value, if we're talking about equity, if we're talking about stock in a wrestler and a character and a persona, Finn Balor has never meant less. Never. Finn Balor has never meant less.
That's the case for fucking 5 years now.
Right, but you also have guys that were around the same time or even earlier, like Sami Zayn, who is, by the way, has also had periods on the main roster where their value was less than nothing.
He's in too. That they all.
Yes, he was. You're absolutely right. So was Sami.
He
had a spell there for 2 or 3 years where he was out. And then now he's arguably he is the best comedic thing in pro wrestling right now. Like the best comedic character.
I would love to see AEW or WWE right now for one of the belts, even for just a short period of time, like a win it on a pay-per-view and then like Jay takes it back from him the next night. Something.
They're built. Okay. I think this is great booking, by the way. I love how we're just fucking money trailing down here. But I think that Sami Zayn is the Royal Rumble main event. It's going to be Sami Zayn Reigns at Royal Rumble in the main event. That we're building to that as the storyline, right? But then whoever wins the Royal Rumble will take on Reigns. Reigns is going to beat Sami. But that match, I hope they get 25 minutes minimum. Because that shit's going to be amazing.
Are you talking about Jay and Sami?
No, I'm talking about Roman and Sami.
You want Roman and Sami?
I'm saying by the time we get to Rumble, by the time we get to January, it's going to be Reigns and Sami. Like
Reigns and Sami?
They're building for the main event of I'm talking about past SummerSlam to Rumble. Sami Zayn and Reigns is Rumble. Is Rumble. But I think Cody debuts, comes back at Rumble and wins. Honestly, I think all of us are stands and pipe dreamers about Rock and Reigns. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen.
Happens at all. I don't think Rock and Reigns happens at all. Also, to be entirely honest with you, I don't really think Cody and Reigns happens at all. I think Cody has to fucking be the Raw guy. Like,
but he beats Roman for one of the time. I'm not even saying he beats him for both, but he beats him for one.
Somebody comes out and there's a separation between that. I don't think Cody beats Roman until the following. I don't think Cody beats Roman until the following WrestleMania. I think it's 2 from now.
Nah, this is his time, bro. Even though he's been gone, it was never hotter when he comes. The eruption at Rumble is going to be insane.
There's something that's going to take a belt off of Roman that lets Cody have a belt, that lets there be 2 belt matches that happen. But I'm saying I don't think Cody Roman happens until the following WrestleMania.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's possible.
I think like there may be a thing where it's like, okay, at Royal Rumble we got, whoever comes, like Logan Paul versus who fucking knows? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly like his matches, but the build's not so great. Wex, since we're fantasy booking here, what do you think, man? You think let's just say it. Who's going to win the Royal Rumble this year?
If Cody Rhodes comes back, it makes sense for him to win it. Just makes sense. But if he doesn't come back, maybe Seth Rollins. That'd be cool too. Rollins Reigns. It could be a possibility.
They might book Sami to win it. That'd be a massive pop.
Or Sami. Anything. Any of those would be great. But Sami, Cody, Seth Rollins. Maybe a surprise Big E return or something. You never know. Something like that.
I think there's no debate. It's going to be Cody Rhodes. Like he's going. Okay. You can write this down. Put it in stone. I said Cody Rhodes will win the Royal Rumble in 2023. It's going to happen.
All right. Well, we'll see. Well, I think it's probably about that time to wrap it on up for this episode of Kayfabe Comparisons.
Yeah. Jesse, what do you think? Who's going to win the Royal Rumble?
I can't disagree with you, man.
Oh, well, there we go. I think it's unanimous here.
I think it's got to be Cody, to be honest. If it's not okay, so if Cody's injured and it can't be Cody, man, it's probably going to be some super. If it's not Cody, to be entirely honest, I think they may go with Braun.
That would be terrible.
Not Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker.
That's going to do it for us. You can find us every week at KayfabeCom on Twitter and on Instagram, at KayfabeComPod on TikTok, Kayfabe Comparisons on Facebook and YouTube. You can always find me at Daniel Daybreak everywhere, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that shit. Wex, where can people find you as you scratch your ass?
No, it was actually my lower back. It's hurting real bad. I got a few knots back there. But you can always find your boy, Wex, at Wex Breaking the Lawson on all of your social media, specifically at Wex Lawson on Twitter. And, be in contact with him on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, all of them. We're down to listen to some shit. Get some engagement, baby.
I'm into it. Jesse, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Jesse Baker Nash at Instagram and Twitter, and just regular ass Jesse Baker on Facebook. Pretty much just talking about wrestling, thinking about wrestling, doing not much else.
It's going to be awesome. Super excited about it. Next week, we're covering the top 5 botches of all time. That's always good to shit on things. It's going to be fun. We're out. We're going to see you guys next week. Peace.
Hala.